Welcome back to. I keep saying Chaos Zero Nightmare. I don't think I've never played the game. I don't even really know what's up with it. But this is Chaos Head Noah, the first in the Science Adventure series. Technically, this is like the remaster slash. I don't know what you call this, but they released it incomplete Chaos Head, and then they completed it or whatever, something like this. Anyway, this is what people recommend. If you're watching this for the first time, I've got the patch in the description that is also generally recommended, although I've seen some people sort of, criticize it for whatever reason. I mean, so far so good, so no complaints. Where we left off, as I click the load, as I launch my load, one might say, it's a bit too soon. Oh.
今のところテストに出るからな。ちゃんとノート書いておけよ。
はい、書いてします。はい。I don't think that's how you conjugate those words, which I've said. And that phrase is like, that's a Backpack Brain classic. If you ever want to, like, extract something from my vocabulary. The word conjugate, that's one of my favorites, because I use it in ways that you really shouldn't. But hey, that's how you conjugate those words. Don't worry about all that. Where we left off, quick little recap for me as well as for you, because unfortunately, I think
Kirit.
How is this? Is there no? There's no bowing in this part. You bow at the beginning, I suppose. You don't bow at the end. Oh no, you do bow at the end.
Kirit.
It's a ri. Kirit. Yeah. You gotta get the R properly, it's like if you roll your R. You cut it off at the first roll. I'm pretty good at, I can do that. I could probably learn to purr if I put my mind to it, but that's upon request. That's for my cameo, which I don't have. Maybe I should. The least guy who's not famous gets a cameo. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that unfortunately the saves don't store the backlog here, which I can't blame them for not doing so, but I do think it's unfortunate because it means it's easy to forget where you were. But I guess we can look at our saves here real quick to just like give us a brief recap of how we were. We are Takumi, we stay in a room and jack off and have our figurines. So what happened? We chose affirmatively in swimsuits, but we're not so concerned about whether the name is on the front or not. We chose to go visit the delusion, or we chose to affirm the delusion of visiting the murder scene, and then for some reason this doesn't show the scene. I don't know what's here, but we went to the murder scene, we saw Murder Woman, she's crazy and stuff, and then we went back, and then our wonderful Imoto came and helped us out, and we imagined how it would be to have a little, I guess it wouldn't really be a meet cute with our, familiar sibling here, but we imagined that, and unfortunately he snapped out of it before it got really steamy. But then we also affirmed the delusion of Yua showing up, and she actually did show up though, like really in real life, question mark. I don't know how much reality real is. Does it matter? I don't think it does. And so we made plans with her. She's treated us right. So now we're gonna be meeting her after school to pre-order a figurine that we put her on to the good shit. Anyway, the math teacher. Wait, what was his name again? Oh yeah, and also I don't read every line. I just I read what I think is what I feel like reading, which is I usually just for expediency. Otherwise, because I'm streaming this, which is my compromise. I've said this multiple times, but because I'm sort of concerned with the fact that maybe people watching this for the first time, they might not know, right? So if you're a regular watcher of this channel, you can feel free to skip until I start clicking through this text again. That I don't read every line, because if I was to play this in my off time, then I would just be clicking away, right? I would even, skip a few. Like, I would cut some voice lines short if it's like explanatory stuff that I don't want to hear necessarily each word in. But that's only if it's dragging on. But trust me, that doesn't happen that often. And generally here I let the voice lines play off because I want to hear Japanese, there's a reason I have Nihongo DJ Otaku in my tags for this Twitch stream. It is streamed live. You can follow me in the description if you're so inclined. But there's a lot of deadlock and Counter-Strike going on at this current juncture. Some students started chatting about where they'd go after school. Those who were in clubs gathered with the members, and the rest were just going home. Fair enough. Like, also, if you needed a narrator for the visual novel, then I thought that my channel is the one that did come to for that. Although, I would rather give my thoughts where my thoughts are relevant, you know. I'm just trying to, like, pet peeve it a little bit. I don't mind it. I think it makes sense, right? That a lot of people who did Let's Plays of Vision Novels, they just read every line of dialogue that wasn't voiced. And sometimes, which baffles my fucking mind, like multiple times, I've tried to watch somebody play through a visual novel. I only do this if I've already played it completely. I just want to, like, relive it in a way that doesn't require me to reboot it and start from zero. And I want to see how other people, you know, enjoyed something I enjoyed. You know, there is an actual, I think, some value to reaction in that sense. If it's genuine reaction, then it works. But, especially for games. But you have to have already played it. I don't see why you would, like, that's a currently occurring discourse is on the X.com, the Everything app, you know, the For You page. It's for you. That you can't be a fan if you haven't played the game. I think that's like, I don't know why we've reached a world in which if you have not played the video game in any form, that you can't, like, that obviously you can't be a fan of a game if you haven't played the game. Like, it's fine, and I think that, like, and somebody could come up with a very interesting analogy. I'm not sure if they banned the simp and cuck from being used, I think, as insults towards people, but you can still say the words. Hopefully Twitch does not ban me for this. But, if I remember correctly, the analogy was that they were like, I would still be part of the sex fandom even if I was a cuck because I was enjoying. And I think the point that they make is actually illuminating in the sense that what they're saying is not that they believe that what they're doing is equivalent to having sex. The point there actually is that the scope of the quote-unquote fandom is expanded to now include people who have not even participated in the thing, but necessarily are just sort of, you know, vicariously have participated in. It's really, I think it speaks to our absence of community and yearning for it more than anything else. But that doesn't mean that just because I look at it with a tinge of empathy doesn't mean I'm willing to, you know, hell, I'm beefing with people who've just watched the Fate, like, anime and not played, like, in 2026 with the remastered version. Even if I'm, like, one of those freaks that's like, the sex scenes are important. I mean, obviously they're important in Heavysphere. I think they're nice in the other two as well. Although, you know, they're not the world's best written sex scenes in the world, but I like it. I like it. But anyway, the fact that we're in 2026 and they're still not, like, it's just on Steam. You can just buy it and play, you know, one of the best of all time. Literally a historic visual novel. And people will still to this day, like, oh, I watched Fate Zero, I watched the movies, I watched the 2006 anime, which visually actually looks pretty good. Maybe the best out of all of them, if not, you know, pacing-wise. Anyway, I was in the last camp. I was always, oh yeah, the ASAP camp, yeah. But today I stayed glued to my seat trying to avoid eye contact with any of my classmates. My anxiety was killing me. I'll try to read, to go back to my beginning point. I generally, the important lines, which I judge subjectively by looking at them, as one does. I will obviously try and read, you know, tense moments. This is just too chilling. He calls it a date. Vidya mentioned. I wonder what Vidya was, in the original. But this is one of those. I bet Vidya was not what they put in the original translation. But I think, you know, not to reopen the endless discussions about it, but I think Takumi would say Vidya. He's literally on. He's hitting the green text arrows, bro. Would have been losing their mind to have a date with a girl planned. Non-video obsessed person. But this was me we were talking about, and I couldn't feel any more depressed. Bro hates women. Which actually may be true. Who knows? But I think he's actually just a nervous wreck. This is all a mental reaction. You know? He folds, like, immediately. So, honestly, I don't think he's got it in him. I couldn't relax at all. I was feeling physically sick. This would be the first time I'd ever gone on a date with a girl, so I had no clue what to do. Let me tell you, as this is a crazy statement to make. I mean, first ever date, like in life, is like it does get you feeling crazy. I will say that. First dates in general are tense enough, but I think you can I think at this point I'm sort of like at the lighthearted stage, like. I don't know. There's like a bar to hit, but once you've been on enough, and for some people it could be like 4 attempts. For some people it could literally like never happen, and they would retain their levels of nervousness. Maybe that's a good thing for some, that energy that they need, right? But anyway, I feel like there's a pragmatic sense to it. Like there's a utility purpose, and there's also a human purpose, and you got to fulfill both. Anyway. He has no clue what to do. Maybe would you even show up? Maybe she just been fucking with me yesterday and she planned on setting me up. She was probably watching me from the shadows right now, giggling at how gullible I was. Well, now that I thought about it, that honestly might be better than not actually showing up. Did I really have to sit around waiting? I mean, I could just blow her off and go home. Time to hell. We were in different grades anyway, so if I just canceled that day at the last minute, I'd never have to see her again for the rest of my life. I mean, I guess this is true because he has like his minimum requirements schedule that he sticks to, but you'd not. I don't know. I guess it's also the Japan thing of having like floors for grades, right? I'm trying to think back. It's so fucked up how much you forget about your time at high school. Like I literally have to dig through like a mental bag. Like it's literally as if I was getting like items from that era of my life. Mentally I have to go to reach in to try and remember. But I mean, I would say broadly speaking, there are like some regions and some areas in some sense, right, that you would probably have to that would be more secluded for one to another. But anyway, fully determined to follow through with that plan, I stood up. She's obviously waiting outside the classroom. She remembered. Oh shit! It's our boy. I hope he has a route. I need to fuck him, but I think Takumi could also be saved. I think he could be saved by homosexuality. I don't know why my back fell victim to a hard slap. I knew who was behind me without even looking. The only guy in class who ever talked to me, none other than Misumiku.
お前帰らないのか？いつもならチャイムが鳴ると同時に消えるのによ。俺密かに匠の音速直帰って名付けてたんだぜ。
So true.
もう帰るよ。
So look at him. He's just like he's whimpering.
誰か待ってるとか。
え？
How the hell did he know? Bro, if you left instantly every time and you waited this time, come on, doesn't take a fucking detective.
なんだよ、図星かよ。
どうして？
なんだかやけにそわそわしてたからな。
Exactly.
教室の入り口をさっきから何度も気にしてるし。
Iriguchi. It's more of an entrance than a door, but I guess you would. There's like a colloquialism. Obviously, you would say door in that sense, even if he didn't fucking say door. But I'm begging it. He was good. Either way, I probably shouldn't say anything that'd make me stand out too much. I mean, he knows, bro. Don't you forget, Takumi. You've got to be invisible at the school. You got to blend in, be like air. The sequel to Be Like Water. That's what they got in Winds and Waves, bro. The Pokemon. Be like air, be like water.
そうか？だったら今の間はなんだよ。
You're not very good at socially doing anything. You may just be on the autism spectrum, which is fine. But that doesn't excuse the... I guess you can have an internal monologue as long... He seems, genuinely speaking, he seems like all of his attempts at anything just fall apart as soon as he tries to do it in real life. So like, I don't think... Honestly, I wouldn't be scared. He's a paper tiger. Fuck. Mitsumikun wasn't a bad guy. But at times like these, he could really get... He could get really fucking annoying. Take a hint for fuck's sake. She's here! Told you she'd be here. Shivers ran down my spine. Hi. My wife. I slowly turned my head toward the voice. Yua was standing by the classroom door looking apologetic. I mean, I think he and her, so far with what little we know about each other, them two are pretty good matches. She's a bit more than a bit crazy, but is overbearing on him, and he, shuts himself out. But when he gets on his interest, he can't stop talking, and she indulges him a little bit. I think that's a nice balance. God damn it! Because of Mizumiko, I lost my chance to escape.
おい、なんだりゃ、どういうことだ？
Mizumiko looked unusually shocked. He's like, "Bro, that was my next target." In fact, he was literally shaking. He put his arm around my shoulder and gave me a stern
おい、
look.
タク、どういうことか説明しろよ。
Setsumi please.
お前の彼女か。
違うよ。
How many times have I told you, Mizumiko? I'm not into 3D. For someone who's not into 3D, you sure do love imagining the 3D women that enter your life.
だったら何なんだよ。言っとくが、タクの姉ちゃんとかそういうオチは期待してねえからな。
Because he has one.
引きこもりのくせに何をどうやったらあんないい女と知り合えるんだ。
いい女。
昨日急に付きまとわれて。
This is actually factually completely true.
そりゃつまりあれか？逆難されたってことか。え？この。
So true. He put his hand on his chin, pondering for a moment, and then he finally let me go. Use protection, he said.
そうか。世の中には物好きってのもいるんだな。けど、
There
タクがまと
gotta
も
be
な性癖を持ってたみ
gotta
たい
be
で
someone out there that's
Scusate,
into
scusate.
whatever you've got is a nice way to say it. It's a polite way to say it.
性癖って。
Maybe that's how. Maybe you can use that phrase in that way also.
It's
I never considered that.
そうかそうか。頑張れよ、タク。
In some sense, I mean, this is obviously like meta commentary, but it's very hard to let go, like, of an identity that you've become so attached to in that sense, right? So he's following what he truly believes, which is, I like the woman, but like to reconcile that with the sort of internal identity that is placed for himself is like I'm the guy that sits in my room and plays video games. Even if he likes doing that, having that be like, as speaking from experience, so like you sort of have to talk yourself. You have to make sure you don't literally define yourself in that way, because things will get a little, boring. Mizumiko wasn't taking me seriously at all. He just got all excited over his own assumptions and slapped my back even harder than before. At this point, he was just screwing me.
安心しろって。お前の女を寝取ったりしねえから。
He might be into that. No, actually, he probably wouldn't. He's kind of. Can you be? There are power bottoms, right? Where they bottom, but like you're like aggressive, which I still technically, I'm not sure if like a power bottom is a dom or a sub. It might fall into the brat category. But I think that's a different thing. That's an archetypal thing. But can you be like a wimpy top? That must be a thing, right? I think that's just Edgeworth and Phoenix. Now that I think about it, now that I'm getting my hat on, where Edgeworth is the wimpy top and Phoenix is the power bottom. I think that could work. Although you can, of course, I think traditionally or like on average, that's usually a more traditional like Edgeworth bottom coded type situation. But I think like Edgeworth being so decisive and however he would try it, but then he would sort of be like, oh my god, right, are you okay? And then, I'm sorry, I'm just writing my Phoenix Wright fan fiction now. But it's been a long time since I wrote, like literally decade plus since I wrote fan fiction, I think. Maybe we should get back into Saddle at some point. But no, I've actually, rather than fan fiction, I've got a visual novel idea cooking in my brain. I think at some point I'm gonna have to actually write it. I gotta get my own little circle around. Chill out, dude. I won't steal your girl.
だからそういう関係じゃ。
Just do it, bro.
ほら、さっさと行けよ。彼女、お待ちかねみたいだぜ。
Oh, much kind. Mizumiko ordered me to move, so I stumbled over to you. Despite my best efforts, I hadn't been able to escape.
迎えに来たの迷惑でした？
So look at that. He folds. Because he knows the truth, bro. Yes, you fucking are. He doesn't. I don't think he can reconcile that. I turned to look at Mizumiko, but he just grinned and gave me the finger. Which finger? He middle fingered you? That seems interesting. That's an interesting one. Honestly, I couldn't tell whether he was trying to pick a fight or cheer me on. I'm a fan of the happy middle finger. I couldn't deal with this shit any longer, so I decided to just hurry up and leave with you all. Give me another delusion, please. I need to imagine it.
すいません。昨日会ったばかりなのに。こん
By
な
the way, do you
お願い
guys
を
want
し
me
て
to
し
keep
ま
the
って
cursor on or not? I love fiddling with my cursor and just moving it about and like pointing out the characters, to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of that.
いや
Yeah. I was so nervous. I was leaving school together with a 3D girl. Was I a normie now or what? It always felt like this was all in a completely different world from mine. I never would have thought I'd get to experience something like this. Those who know. But now I was feeling the intense pressure of US silence. We were just walking side by side, not even talking. So why was this so stressful? Well, at the top of it all up, I didn't really know who Yua was or what her goal was. Just what did she want from an otaku freak like me? I think she wants the freak.
おとといの。はい。
あいや
That is... He's too on edge, bro. She started talking to me out of nowhere, and so I got surprised and that weird side I made just came out. You also seemed really nervous. Her expression was tense. She was older than me, so how was she still so innocent? How surprisingly moe. Then again, I probably wasn't the best person to be talking about innocence, since I could hardly manage more than a quick sidelong glance at her. I was too embarrassed to take a proper look at her face. I just couldn't do it.
おとといのブラチュー見ましたよね。
But
うん
私一箇所だけ
Would you explain it to
いま
me
いちよくわからないところがあったんですけど
with your hands? And I don't know how that would work, but it
す
would
すぶ
work.
くんがセイラちゃんのピンチに駆けつけてきて助けてくれますよね。でも
Susumu-kun
どう
is
して
funny.
すすむくんはセイラちゃんが危ないって
Mr.
分かったのかなって。
Mr.
あ
Foolhardy,
あ
I
れ
don't know.
は先週の回に伏線があったんだ。セイラの携帯が鳴ってるシーンが一瞬だけ挿入されてて、着信表示で進むの名前が出てる。
ああ、そういえばそんなシーンありましたね。
She remembers.
山田がそういう細かい伏線をあちこちに貼るのが好きなんだ。キンゴルでも似
I don't see how that
フォ
foreshadows it, but then again, we haven't watched the episode.
山田くキンゴル
See, now if she's really into this, she has to start like going along with when he's like explaining it, because she knows that he knows the fucking deep industry lore and knowledge, and she's gotta like indulge him a bit more.
山田くっていうのはブラチューの監督の愛称だよ。で、山田くがブラチューの前に監督やってたアニメがキンゴル。
へえ。じゃあ山田くさんって有名な監督さんなんですね。
まあ、僕は好きな方かな。なんでかっていうと、
I thought something terrible was gonna happen, but they just kept going. I had been lecturing you about the various facets of anime when I realized we were already in front of anime. Time flew by faster than I expected. Oh yeah, they actually have it, like, it is there. I let myself get carried away and talked way too much. Well, it didn't help that Yu was such a good listener. She paid such close attention while I shared my wisdom. Couldn't help but want to tell her everything I knew, even though I knew I was falling right into a trap. Yeah, you fell right into it. There might actually be a trap though, although I'm making it seem like he's, you know, bad. All this and yet I wasn't even good at talking. This was the first time I'd ever felt this way. I was talking out loud, but it felt like I was chatting online. It was a strange feeling. That's what we all yearn for, to be fair. To be able to talk to someone with the kind of, like, shackles off that you might... I guess nowadays people don't do that online as much. I guess it depends, but...
なんだかドキドキしてきました。先に帰ったりしないでくださいね。
Hold hands, do something. Embrace. Only got more and more nervous as she went up and spoke to the store employee. It was clear that she was out of her comfort zone, but all I could do is just stand there and watch as she placed the pre-order for the post-awakening version Zeta figure. There weren't any good opportunities to escape. Bro was still thinking about all that. Yo kept anxiously glancing back. She knows where you live, bro. It's not gonna work. She literally followed you around before. Just think this through, buddy. So I couldn't budge an inch. Right after that, she even forced me to look around the store with her. He'll look in at some point. You was looking all around with a big grin on the face, saying things like, "Wow, there's not enough money in the world to buy all these figures." But even in the face of all that enthusiasm, I just couldn't find it in me to smile back at her. He'll figure it out at some point, maybe. McDonald's, the sharp M. Mario, can you do that? There's Mario's a white M, like the inside. I don't remember. Not that I care either. So apparently you took the train to school, which meant I had to accompany her all the way to Shinsen Station. She might not look like it, but she was a devious one, alright? She always managed to get her way, all without making herself look even remotely selfish. It's because you want to do it. Talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is the one thing I would say. Like, if we're gonna have a patch that specifically translates things in a more, maybe not faithful, but like, I don't know, like less closer to source style of tone, to have all these, I assume these tooltips were in the original Japanese, right? Because it's a lot of stuff like that. To not have the original Japanese, like, line in, especially when it's, like, most of these tooltips are the, what do you call it? In his narration, which is not voice, so I can't even hear what they're saying. Like, I can't look up what the original thing was. Like, I'm sure I could probably find it well enough, but, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna have a, like, I get it for the manufacturer, because the manufacturer is presenting a version for people who only speak English, and are not interested in necessarily learning. But if you're a patch maker, if somebody is dedicated enough to download a patch, surely they're dedicated enough to want to know at least the romaji for what this fucking phrase is. But anyway.
西条くんって携帯は持ってないんですか？
No, actually, he doesn't. Once we'd reached the station, Yua suddenly asked me that question. Cell phone, I shook my head weakly.
持ってないんですか？それじゃ連絡が取れないですね。
She's not dedicated enough to ask for an email off or something.
連絡
Renraku. Why the hell would she want to stay in touch? Whoa, was she gonna demand? What the hell? Oh, my scroll wheel bugged. Not just FPS that it struggles for. That I text her about every little thing for the rest of my life. That's kind of what life's about, bro. That's I kind of yearn for that.
西条くんパソコン持ってましたよね。私も持ってるからメールアドレスを交換しませんか？
どうして
See, at some point, he's gonna have to stand his ground between his internal monologue and what he's doing talking to her. And then he's gonna, like, if she feels, like, makes him feel bad, you know, it'll come to a head. Let's say that.
その
But the problem is I don't know if she's strong-willed enough to keep it up. So we have to see.
フィギュアの発売日に取りに行かなくちゃいけませんよね。その時
That's
に
see now she's great at this though. This is something that you have that I even struggle with. Is the like you know what you want, you know what the objective is, but I'm like to come up with a reasonable like. I'm great at doing it when it's not like necessarily romantic, but I think I would struggle at this current present point. Like intellectually I could do it, but in the moment it would be really difficult to. At least, like, on first meeting, to come up with, like, one of those practical excuses that people make sort of knowingly to navigate that social tension, right? I feel like to do that smoothly is very difficult. To not to,
一人でアニメ8に行く勇
and
気
it has to
は
be sort of partially true, otherwise it doesn't hit as hard, you know? Otherwise it's too farcical. She was good. She actually is good. She was way too good.
私西条くんと
I knew she had her claws in me, but I just couldn't turn her down. If I did, I'd look like the bad
もっ
guy.
と
3D was the scariest fucking thing in the world. I mean, also, not to keep analyzing, I watched too many, like, intellectuals react, not intellectuals, that's just I hate that word, to be honest. In when I don't use it with a hint of irony, then you can use it as you intend to use it. But the like this one tone in the BGM, not BGM, the ambiance is like sounds exactly like the default iPhone like alarm notification. Hit it. How long is your lube, brother? It'll show up again at some point. But the idea that something else can have so much power over you that it won't even let you behave the way you want to behave, you know. It's an element of that as well. So it scares you because it has power over you and you don't know how to interact with it and how to interface with it.
仲良くなりたいから。
I love her look here. I forgot how much I loved anime girls, to be honest with you. That's a lifelong thing for a guy like me. Beast like me. It's not that I don't think about it that often, but like I forget just when you go back to basics, you know. How was she doing this? Was it just because I was bad at talking to people, or was she just too good? She's good, but you're also terrible. Either way, you seemed intent on not leaving until she had my email. Yet at the same time, I could sense a bit of unease behind those glasses of hers. But if he can sense that, like, he's not, like, literally gone. He has some level of, like, understanding it. I could practically feel my will to resist draining from my body. There were goosebumps all over my body, shivers running down my spine, but I couldn't run away, and I couldn't turn her down. This aura she had, it wasn't normal. The aura of being a cute girl. I couldn't really put into words exactly what it was that bothered me so much, but whatever it was, something wasn't right. Now, the way this would go full circle is if she actually has, like, there's actually something else going on here. And we, as the reader, have been tricked, which is plausible. I mean, come on. It's my first radio. But see that noise right there? If I knew it, I'd torn out a scrap of notebook paper, written down my email address, and handed it to her. She took it, looking happy as can be, then quickly bowed her head and disappeared into the station. It felt like my soul had left my body. I just stood there, completely dumbfounded. Even after 10 minutes passed, I couldn't move an inch. If it's just, like, passing commas back and forth, I'm pretty good at that excuse, but, like, anything further, I think I struggle. Because then I'm sort of... I look at myself and I'm like, I feel like everyone can sort of tell. And I feel like the point is not that everyone can tell the, like, social dynamic. The game you're playing is not that you're trying to pretend that what you're doing isn't happening. But it's actually that in doing so, you're revealing a little bit, but it's sort of, it's a game of, like, chicken, essentially. If someone neglects, like, rejects the premise of the game, then you can move on. I think the point is like that. But anyway, I like to deconstruct it a little bit. It's intellectually stimulating, if a little, like, you know. I don't think it necessarily takes away from the joys of life to think about it in that way. Anyway, bro was standing there for 10 minutes is sort of the point. His soul had left his body type shit. You've got mail. So what do you make of all this? Of her? What is he talking to? Who is he talking to now? Because personally, I don't have the slightest clue. Who is her? In this context. There is no way she doesn't have ulterior motives or something. Or is he going to say that he told somebody else? But wasn't he supposed to be anonymous? Wasn't this whole point that he's like... I guess he's telling people where he's from, but like... Unless he's talking to someone he knows, you know. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. I agree. To be honest, he's actually right. What eroge is this? The red text scared me for a second. That night, I decided to consult Grim about Yua. I figured I might as well. If I just kept my paranoia to myself, I wouldn't get anywhere. That was the response I'd gotten. Well, not like I could blame him. The first time I'd spoken with Yua, I reacted the exact same way. I mean, it's true, like, there's no reason for her to do that. But also the elements of, like, not believing that you might actually have something to offer to other people. Like, that's another, like, element. I think, honestly, I mentioned this in the beginning, when this happened, like I said the same thing. I wonder how much trouble I would have accepting this kind of scenario. I think I might. I think I might have. It was stupid of me to think you'd be any help, Grim. Oh shit, no wait one fucking second. You were being serious? You actually managed to raise a flag with someone? You really have a way of getting whatever you want, huh? Lol. Now who said they went into 3D again? Lumfowl. Laughing my fucking ass off. It's not like that, dude. Grim's reaction was almost identical to Misumikun's. Were they the same person or something? What, foreshadowing subtle or not? Or for a turbo version like you, Nightheart. Now that you have a girl, it should be easy to leave Otakudon behind and use your V card. You gotta be careful with that. Like, if you're studying her, let's talk about my school swimsuit fetish, you'll dump your ass. So use common sense. Now, this is the way you actually go wrong. You need to find a girl that's also into the school swimsuits, and then you can really live your true life. You don't want to relinquish your desires to live the normal life, because then you have double regrets. So you never want to do that. What's wrong with the school swimsuit fetish? Damn it.
メールだよボケなす
Oh, this one I know from Steins Gate, bro. Because Steins Gate did it better. Because that one, damn it, Nantaka Shinaito, or something like that. It's from, I forget where it's from, but it was explained there way better. Daru says this. Sorry, can I hear that again?
メールだよボケなす
Bokenaso. So true. My custom email notification sound. The sender's name was Kusunoki Yoa. Is that the first time we've seen the last name?
早速来た。
I think we've seen him in the introduction, but I got an email just now. Whoomp! There it is. To spin around. Kawamoji. This is the first time I'd ever got an email from a 3D girl. I gulped and clicked to open it. Good evening. This is Kusunoki. I sent this email as soon as I was able to. I would appreciate it if you added me to your address book. My apologies for making you accompany me today. Sorry. Even so, I still had a lot of fun. Perhaps because it was my first time going to a store like that. Or maybe it was because Nishijo-kun was with me. Wara. Or Kusa, I don't know which one. What time will you be coming into school tomorrow, Nichijo-kun? Oh, I'm only asking because I was hoping they'd be able to say hello tomorrow morning, that's all. It would be nice if we could run into each other again tomorrow. Well, I'll be sure to email you again soon. Good night. How cute. Can I... You have to press backspace to undo the screen changing. Her usual elegance and purity shone through the email. When she said things like, I just said those. I just couldn't help but feel like she was up to something. The nefarious act of falling in love. Post it now. It's tame. Chill the fuck out. Just usual greetings and shit. Whatever, but just post it. Post it already. Sent. Forwarded. I mean, this is rite of passage. If you're... When you DM... When you get the first back and forth, you pull up with your friends and... Yeah, he has to redact it, I forgot. But isn't it revealing that he's in school now? Do they know? Grimwood is not pestering me, so I just gave him both an entire email. Though I did censor our personal info at least. Oh ho ho. Would you look at that? Kill yourself now, how you know me, scum. So true, to be honest. That's fair, though. That's fair. Please take this seriously. No, it's true. He's taking it seriously. This must be some kind of trap. Yeah. How tight that tinfoil hat you got on. You sure you're not overthinking it? You just look like you raised the flag with this chick to me. You're almost at the good end already. That's what I mean. There's no way. But like, he has a reason to be a little like. At least he should ask her. But the thing is, she's crazy also, and that just made me alright. There's no way. You think a cute girl would try to pick me up IRL? Dude, are you really complimenting your girlfriend already? I mean, he accepts that she's cute. That's one step in the right direction. Come on, I already told you. You're just overthinking it. We're two of a kind, aren't we? Not we both know good girls like that don't exist anymore. She really was just that nice, and that's exactly what didn't feel right to me. But that's kind of hard, don't you think? Lel. It means no one says lel anymore. You said she likes anime too? Yeah, no way such a perfect GF exists, bro. Not for us otaku anyway, Lamau. Just don't go ruining her with your degenerate shit. See, now, you gotta get that the other way around. I guess I shouldn't say this to the YouTube audience. This is the kind of thing that in 10 years, or at this pace of the internet, in 2 years, kind of thing that gets clipped in or out of context and just gets me in trouble. But then again, I mean, Kate was a fan of NL, right? So in the same context, I'm sure I can summon a freak. Unfortunately, I think the best method to do so is to be posting on social media. Or God forbid, entering Discord servers. I think that era has passed. Or maybe in my future. Who knows? Hopefully, it doesn't become a subject of discussion. That might not be so bad. No, scratch it. That was exactly what I wanted. Yeah, exactly. We have to do this. Well, he's gonna take it a bit too far, but like, So chirp a bit. She made the first move, bro. You say that, but we both know you really want to go out with her, am I right? If you want to de-otakify yourself, now's your chance. You won't get a second one and you know it. You're popular now. Won't last long. Don't let it go to waste. Just be Nightheart IRL. You got the green light, bro. See, Grim is wingmanning you real good. I realized something when I was talking with you the other day. Sure, there were a couple of moments where I had fun and felt happy, but aside from that, I just felt annoyed and completely exhausted. I do think there's an element of like, I mean, if you idealize the concept of a relationship with someone to the point where you literally can't even comprehend of it, then even the like briefest concept of it happening, like it can make you crazy. Like you can, it's like Paris syndrome but for relationships, and you can have that in Paris also. If that was what I had to go through with every interaction, I'd honestly just rather live in the 2D world where I could do whatever I wanted. That was why I decided not to reply to yours email. I mean, you're gonna see her next time you go to school anyway, bro. That was the delusion end thing. What did he burn? Or is this like a alternate view type? Something Agigai. Scorching red cinders danced around the incinerator. The flame was fueled by a sailor-style school uniform along with countless textbooks. This is not the killer, right? Also, she looks kind of like she's from Madoka Magica in some sense. But probably, I don't know. Looks cute though. On a foothill overlooking the Seto Inland Sea, a ghost stood in her home's garden. The steam whistles of boats echo in the distance, and the nearby trees gently swayed in the refreshing sea breeze. Trees in the sea breeze? Teas? In the midst of such a serene scene, the girl Orihira Kozue stood still and alone in front of the incinerator, bathing in the somber ambiance of the cinders. The girl's gaze was locked onto the school uniform and textbooks as they were slowly reduced to ashes, each becoming clad in a crimson glimmer. Until only yesterday, they had been her school uniform and her textbooks. What, she graduated? That doesn't seem like it would make sense. Despite having lit the fire herself, the girl did not move from the spot, perhaps out of a lingering sense of regret. That too only lasted a movement. Suddenly knitted her eyebrows and covered her ears as hard as she could. Is it gonna blow up, or is she gonna yell? What's the deal here? She looks a little fucked up. Also, what is this, like, Violet Evergarden ass fit going on here? I haven't seen that, by the way. I got recommended it a long time ago, but still haven't. It's only like 13 episodes, so I might tap in, to be honest with you. Depends. It's been a while since not that long since I watched anime, to be honest. She gasped in agony, and yet she did nothing more. The girl did not moan, nor did she raise any tearful complaint. All she let out was a series of ragged breaths. Or did someone else put this in? Is that what? Is she like a victim of bullying? She's not like saying farewell to a past life and moving on or something. I like the antennae, you know. I'm always a fan. She shook her head repeatedly from side to side, as if to express a fierce, visceral objection. And as she did, her strength slowly started to crumble, and she collapsed to the ground. She fell on her backside with a thud, let her jaw droop as if utterly exhausted, and looked up to the sky with a dazed expression on her face. Minutes later, she was still in the exact same position, until suddenly she turned around with conviction, as if she had heard someone call out to her. The guys? The house's porch, built over 50 years ago. Sorry, anything beyond the porch could barely be seen. Okay. At that moment, her mother appeared. Okay, is this like a who's the fucked up one in this scenario type situation? Kozue promptly nodded until I sat down. It seems like she's saying farewell. Maybe not of her choice. Why? Her mother took a seat next to her, gazing toward the inland sea with a gentle look at her. We've met like 3 or 4 girls that we have not met in as Takumi yet, so just they're doing a lot of setup. Or is that school uniform her old one, not the one that she's gonna move? She's gonna transfer into this school, and she's gonna be the transfer student, and now we're gonna eventually have to make our choice or whatever. I don't know how the choice system actually works. It's probably delusion adjacent. I mean, considering that Steins Gate was like phone calls / messages, depending on whatever. So this is probably delusion based, right? Like it said on the tin. Despite her mother's carrying words, Kozua did not nod nor even shake her head in response. She just simply remained silent, gazing wistfully toward the still burning incinerator in the corner of the garden. Another week came, and with it, are we back in the POV of our good friend? As usual, I had to school my head hung low, depressed as ever. Autumn was starting to come in full swing. Shout out Autumn, by the way. The leaves of the trees in Shoto Park were slowly changing color, and I was starting to feel chilly in my short-sleeved uniform. That's oomph, bro. Actually oomph. I usually say that's oomph as a bit, but actually oomph on Twitter.com. Twitter.tv. Anyway, the bells are ringing. I suppose it made sense that I'd be surprised by a change of season, because I don't go outside. So true. I still had to really register that summer had ended. It's vibes, bro. My weekend was the gaming. Grimwood kept on bugging me at you, but I just ignored him, and her, to be fair. Okay. I hadn't gotten an email from you since that first one. I hadn't replied to her first one either, so maybe she's finally given up on me. She's gonna be waiting outside your classroom this morning, buddy. Nice try. You messed with the wrong kind of chick. She's gonna go crazy mode if you ignore her for too long, okay? Whenever I talk to you, my feelings always got jumbled up. Those interactions almost made me have a little hope. Or is he... Okay, maybe he's at the stage where he doesn't even really... Literally doesn't know how to love. Okay, that's fair. Well, there was no point in being so optimistic. At the end of the day, I was just an otaku freak. My whole life, I never had any success with 3D, so I'd just given up on it. Please, don't give me any hope. Please don't have any hope for me. Just as I thought that, someone tapped my shoulder from behind. I figured it was Nanami or Mr. Mikko, but when I turned around, I was shocked. You made her run, bro. Yo was looking at me with a smile on her face. Her cheeks were a little flushed, not that they showed, of course. Why was she so out of breath?
もしかしたら西条くんかなって思って走って追いかけちゃいました。
The love music. That you've really not given up yet? That you still have some hope left in me?
おはようございます、西条くん。
Say good morning back, bro.
やっと言えました。土日を含めて4日もかかってしまいましたけど。あ、先週メールを送ったんですけど、読んでもらってます。
読んでもらってます。That would... But like saying it in that way would never come naturally to me. I was usually like, Yonda does not make sense, I think. Yonda does make sense. I found myself nodding at reflex.
よかった。返事がなかったからてっきり届いていないかと思って何度か
Eventually he's gonna ask her.
我慢しておいて正解でした。
He's gonna ask her like, why are you doing all this for me? I'm literally like telling you to fuck off all this time. So this could be the wholesome route, maybe. Who knows? Maybe all of them are wholesome. Maybe this is one of those, like, maybe we're saving Takumi in every route. Maybe that's what's going on here. Seriously, what the hell did you all want from me? Did she expect me to like her back? Did she want me to be her boyfriend? And then did she want us to live out some intimate lovey-dovey fantasy together? You sick fuck? You wanted love? From me? That's actually kind of what he's saying. Son Hazuanai. No way I could be that normal no matter how hard I tried. I really wanted to. See, this is the problem. You gotta embrace yourself if you're a freak. You gotta stand from self-hatred. That's what I'm trying to pitch to you.
よかった。
Like, it just gives you like a wow. So I just couldn't do it.
西条くん、どうしたんですか?
She kind of opens her mouth very wide for speaking. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but she's kind of hidden the
えっと、 ずっと立ち止ま
I
って
guess
る
it's
の
only in contrast to how small it looks when they don't have her speaking. Upon realizing that, I quickly started to walk away, leaving Yua behind. Before I could get very far, Yua had already caught up with me.
昨日西条くんのクラスに行ったんですけどいませんでしたよね。もしかして風邪でもひいて休んでるんじゃないかと思って心配だったんです。
Sorry.
でも元気そうでよかった。
たまにしか
はい。
僕たまにしか学校来ない。
She's gonna show up to his house, bro. It's gonna start happening. And
み
then
んなから引きこもり
she'll show up alongside his sister, and then they'll have a confrontation slash meeting. She'll be like, "You got a girlfriend?" And then you will be like, "Wow, this is your sister. Nice to meet you." Although they could just meet in school, to be honest with you. Did that break the spell? You're totally disillusioned now that you know the truth, right? This is actually like one of those like destructive habit type things, right? As well, which I honestly like. I kind of get it, to be honest with you. But if you think you're unlovable, you sort of want to keep proving it. Otherwise, like what I mentioned earlier, you kind of like if the spell breaks, then like your identity as someone who's unlovable is broken also, and then you have to rebuild yourself, which is probably the eventually right choice, but it's hard to do it, you know. If so, I don't mind. I never got my hopes up anyway. Go ahead and call me an otaku freak, and then after that, never talk to me again.
そうですか。でも今日は会えてよかったです。
I was left speechless. All I could manage to do was stir you a smile, but when her eyes met, I got flustered and looked down. You do love her. How was she not disgusted by me?
っていうか、たまにでも学校に来てるなら、西条くんは引きこもりじゃないと思います。
This is actually true. He's not a shut-in. He goes to school 3 times a week. So he's a there's like a middle ground, which I think I'm on the same like board as him. I pretty much have the same sort of schedule in my life, right? Which I think does like make me aligned with that. Although
すいません。分かったようなこと言っちゃって。
sometimes I wish I was more of a shut-in, but it is what it is.
でも苦痛だよ。
だとしたら偉いです。
Praise him. Oh yes, praise him.
Eh?
Good boy. I want to hear it. Just because it's him, man. Keep in mind. I never thought I'd ever hear someone say that to me. What the hell is respectable about a total loser like me? I mean, to be honest, he's only doing this because he's got pressure from above, but still he's sticking to it. I'm looking in the mirror. A gentle smile that spread over Yua's face. A smile so sweet it could cure any disease. That was genuinely what I thought in that moment.
だって西条くんは辛いのに頑張って学校に来ていますから。
Recognizing the good aspects of someone, you know?
普通なら普通は来られないですよ。
でも僕はオタだしキモいし。
Ota.
私
I'm a weirdo.
好きですよ。
What the hell am I doing here? What the hell? What was with all this validation? Why did hearing it make me feel so good about myself? I felt like you was embracing me all the way down to my core. I didn't think we'd get this, like, detailed introspection from him this early, to be honest. But that's nice. Like, she was giving me the right to be here, to exist in this. But the problem is now he's gonna have the other part of it reaffirmed. But also, I feel like if he just started living like a normal person, nobody would like. There was no. I don't know what there's reason is to be like this and be like, you can be like this and not be like so hating of both himself and society the way he is, to be honest. But anyway, it felt like when I was with her, maybe I could even be a normal person again.
大変予令ですよ
I hadn't realized until now, but almost all the students were already gone. Everyone had made their way to the school building. Grab his hand and run!
西条くんそれじゃあ私失礼しますあ今日の放課後時間ありますか
All of you, he has so much time. He's full of time.
もしよかったらその一緒に帰りましょう
With a timid tone, Yor mumbled her words, a faint blush on her cheeks.
放課後中庭で待ってますもし気が向いたら来てくださいあ無理に来なくても全然平気ですから失礼します
She says shitsurisima. I fucked it up. They're gonna shoot me with the gun. She says shitsurishimasu, which is, I guess, like in context, it's more of like a, you know, if you'll excuse me type of thing. But I guess it carries maybe it carries an implication of being like repeating engagement. I don't know. Anyway, she's gone. Elegantly, I pinched my cheek. I'm not dreaming or having a delusion. That one I'm not so sure about. There's like a off chance that we're still in the delusion. I don't actually know. But for now, it seems like it's all legit. I couldn't focus on my classes all day after that because we're supposed to believe that you did normally focus on them. Or rather, I didn't bother trying to focus. I just rested my head on my hand, staring sluggishly into the autumn sky outside the window. My teachers, my classmates, none of them ever paid any attention to me, but Yua did. She was different from all the other shitbags of this school. I couldn't stop thinking about her, I couldn't stop having delusions about her, I wish I could have seen some of those. And before I knew it, classes were over for the day.
Yo, Taku. 今日もデートか
If only it was with you.
この前のメガネのことはうまくいってるんだろうな
Megane no ko. Meganeko, perhaps.
おいおいニートだからって躊躇してんなよ
He's got a great read on him, all things considered.
付き合うか付き合わないかは
Well, listen, whether Takumi realizes or not, I'm sure that Misumi talking to him is part of the reason that he's even still going and, like, you know? I think he means more to him than he realizes, I think.
おいなんだよいきなり大声出して
ユアとはそんなことしない
はお前まだ言ってんの
You can be a shut-in with a girlfriend. It's actually possible. In some sense, it can be great. You just need to figure out how to do it.
僕は
And he actually, like we just said, he isn't, to be fair. That wasn't even what this was about. But there was no point in trying to explain that to Misumi, a guy who only thought with the wrong head. He thinks with the right head, to ask me, bro. So ignoring how puzzled Misumi-kun was, I quickly made my way out of the classroom. Is this a recess thing, or is it like a school's over thing? Well, I forgot. Okay, it is the end of school. Shortest path from here to the courtyard is through the skyway to the third-year building, then down the stairs. He's gonna run into somebody else along the way if he goes that way. Or they're gonna give us a choice here. I didn't come to school often enough to have a good grasp on the layout. I didn't even know where half the classrooms were. Trust me, I still don't know where a lot of things were or are in most places that I had to regularly visit. Don't worry about all that. So I was a little bit anxious as I walked on the way to the next building. He isn't even thinking about it. Oh shit. A wholly new girl that literally isn't even... I was just I just said there's like 3 or 4 girls that we haven't even met but have shown up, and this is an extra one to add to that, incrementing the number. Girl standing alone in the middle of the hall, staring up at the sky. Her face looked stiff, so I just started looking at the window. It wasn't in the wistful kind of way, like a mannequin. She was obviously in everyone's way, but she didn't seem to care in the slightest. But why are we noticing her though? I guess because of that. I know you can hear me walking toward you. Move along, will you? I'm in a bit of a hurry here. I was getting real Dokkyun vibes from her, and I didn't want anything to do with it. So I tried to keep my distance and slip by a girl B without getting noticed. Oi. Is she gonna be related to the killing? Is it gonna be like Mitan done it? Desho type shit. Oh shit, was she talking to me? Fuck. Was she gonna threaten me and take all my money or take me to the Dokkyun hangout spot and have me lynched just because she didn't like my face or worse? Give me a fucking break. What did I ever done to deserve this? Is it gonna be a message from his sister, more likely?
お前誰だ？
Or she is friends with Yua, and she's like, why are you interested in this guy? Did she just ask me that? I'm Nishijou Takumi, but this is the first time I've ever spoken to her, so obviously she wouldn't know that. Whatever she wants from me can't be
すいま
good.
せん
Grabbed. After bolting through the hall down the stairs and out the door, I shot a look behind me at the third building. It seemed like the scary girl hadn't come after me. She's gonna be down there already. She took the faster route. I was safe. To be completely honest, I was getting tired of all this bullshit. Whenever I was in the third dimension, I was always running into another goddamn tramp. I took a second to catch my breath and then looked for the courtyard. It was more like a path than actually. I was like, this is the courtyard? I mean, this looks like a... This looks familiar. I've seen a courtyard like this. No, I'm actually thinking of Kanojo X Kanojo, the hentai, not the... I know there's like an actual... There's something else with the same name, I think, but... If you know, you know. If you remember what I'm talking about here. A few evenly spaced flower beds. What kind of... The violet color flowers are especially eye-catching. He's thinking about flowers. Is he gonna give us some, or what's the deal? Why is she, like, sad, bro? What happened? Just like she promised, she'd really waited for me here. She'd waited for me and me alone. Savior mentioned, you hadn't betrayed me. Maybe I could trust her. Maybe she really was the savior I'd been looking for. She looked up and noticed me standing there, and her eyes widened. I got shy and looked away, frozen in place. She's gonna walk towards you even if you don't know about walking towards her, buddy. Oh, she's so surprised. Maybe I shouldn't have come. Maybe she got threatened by mystery stoic girl. It was like, don't hang out with that guy. He's a fucking freak. And then she did it anyway, and he did it anyway, and they're both finding out love.
びっくりしました。
え？
西条くんが本当に来てくれるなんて。
Time to harvest your organs.
どうせ来てもらえないって諦めかけてたんです。でも待ってて
I
よ
was
か
like,
った
that's why she was sad. That's the explanation for the sadness. The ads are about to run. I can't stop them. I ran like a shit ton earlier, hoping that it wouldn't keep going. But turns out they're gonna keep going. Hopefully nothing important happens the next minute and a half. Not like that many people are watching me anyway. Although it says 2 viewers, I think that number lies. Or that somebody's watching and just like, I don't know. People watching like a low view streamer and not trying to chat. I think I understand the vibe. Some people just hate like a streamer that caters to their chat, which is interesting. Just watch a YouTube video, I guess. But I was taken aback. You were thinking the same way as me. We were the same pessimistic mindset, but you seem to recognize that at least. That's interesting. There was one clear place that we differed. Whenever I had negative thoughts, I'd freeze up and do nothing, but whenever you had negative thoughts, you'd take action anyway, which is better. Yes, I wanted to be like that too.
一緒に帰ってくれますか？
She timidly asked me and I nodded in response. Look at you, a bunch of nervous freaks. Get a room. Walking side by side, the two of us passed through the school gate. It was a little embarrassing. I felt like other students were staring daggers at me, green with envy. And the more aware of that I became, the more anxious I got. I guess I was right. I really can't walk home alone with a girl. Who the fuck is that? The design budget was in the girl characters. They gave this guy the damn Dorito. What is... Phoenix with a different headpiece. Oh, what's going on there? We crossed paths with a teacher I'd never seen before. Or at least I assumed he was a teacher since he was wearing a student's school uniform. I mean, he had a sprite. That lets you know. Or it could be a remaster situation that gave all minor character sprites. Wasn't he a little young to be a teacher? Well, I hardly ever came to school, so it made sense I wouldn't know how the teachers looked like. Sometimes I even forgot what my homeroom teacher looked like. Can't be doing that, though. I was looking around restlessly as he headed for the school building.
どうしました？
Not knowing how to react, I quickly shook my head, returned to Yua's side. I went back to walking with her. He's been male-wifed already. We said we'd walk home together, but my base was only 10 minutes from school. Meanwhile, you needed to go all the way to Shinsen Station. But by force of habit, I led you into Shoto Park. Something of a shortcut on my route to school, saving me about a minute each way.
西条くんって朝よくこの公園でパンを食べてませんか？
うん。
How did she know that? She'd been following you, buddy.
やっぱりよく見かけたんです。でもいる時といない時があって。
I mean, you can do a little stalking as a treat.
今日ようやくその謎が解けました。 学校にたまにしか来ないからだったんですね。あ、別にそれがダメって言ってるわけじゃなくてですね。素朴な疑問だったので。
疑問。
うん。
Sabak is Gimon. Sabak is like Gimon is solution. It's just a solution to like a riddle, I think. You all suddenly stopped turning toward the bench. I was eating breakfast. No one was in there at the moment. You want to have a
なん
seat?
だかここに座っているあなたの背中はすごく辛そうに見えて。
You were bent forward slightly, gently stroking the back of the bench.
何度も見かけるうちにだんだん気になってきて。
The bench was right in front of the fence by the pond. Whenever you sat on it, you could just stare at the pond without needing to worry about whether others might be looking at you. I mean, you might still worry, but it was right by the watermill, too, making it even more inconspicuous. That was another huge plus. I mean, the vibes here are pretty good. Although the bench, I would be worried about how, like, the wood and stuff, you know.
ここ最近は姿を見かけなかった日は心配でご飯も喉を通らなかったりしてたんです。
That's a bit crazy. Really? I'd never noticed her looking at me when I was here? Well,
バカみたいですよね。一度も話したこともない人の心配してるなんて。
I need this face. Thank you. Right, yeah, there we go.
でも話しかける勇気もなかったので。
So her initial stalking was an extension of that. Or maybe not stalking per se, maybe she'd just been looking out for me.
ちょっと座ってみてもいいですか？西条くんがどんな景色を見ていたのか私も知りたいから。
Yeah, okay. I didn't really have much of a reason to refuse. I nodded my head, still facing out toward the lake. Yor placed her bag on top of the bench and quietly took a seat. She then straightened her posture and gazed out at the lake. Are we gonna get a CG? It was so incredibly quiet, so incredibly serene, and Yor was sitting right by my side. I mean, there's gotta be a spanner in the works coming soon. I just need to, like... This is too good too soon. Something's going to happen, right? A gentle breeze drew ripples on the water and it softly swayed Yua's hair. Was this what it felt like to be a normie? Normies got their own problems, I think. This situation was so ordinary, so casual, so why did I feel like I was about to cry? Bro, you ain't felt the touch of... No, forget a woman, you ain't felt the touch of love.
ここで朝食をとるのって気持ちよさそうですよね。
Literally crying from peak. I looked at the side of Yua's face as she whispered that. If life were an eroge, this is where she'd confess her love, then we lean in, kiss, and the good and credits would roll, and who knows if the situation called for it, we would get straight into some exhibitionism. JK. Fuhihi.
私も今度やってみようかな。
Yua turned and looked up at me. Unable to find the words to say, I looked down at Yua's bag. Oops. Cursing my inability to maintain eye contact with the girl, I stared instead at the 3 Goro Froggy straps hanging from her bag. I mean, yeah, we did know that she was the girl that followed us into the cafe, right? Or is he gonna look at this and be like, holy shit, she stalked me there? I hope not. I hope this is just, like, trivia and not a crushing, like, rift in this relationship, because it's going well. I think it's save time, yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna hit yes. But I don't know. Is no, like, don't think about it? Because I do. If I feel like if I think about it, if I delude myself here, he might go crazy. But I feel like just saying yes to all the delusions because I feel like I just want to see what he's thinking about, you know? I want to see where his mind goes. Wait a minute, something about this scene was really nagging at me, and that thing was the Ghetto Froggies, characters that were popular with high school girls. But I'd seen those exact ones before, hadn't I? Where, though? Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. This is an incest affirmation. Okay, well then, you know, maybe I'm glad I picked it then. Nanami had one attached to her cell phone. That's what I was thinking of. Oh, okay. So picking yes here is don't think about it, just stay with her. which makes me think that this is actually a bad thing. But let's roll with it. I'm just paranoid of nothing. I'm so stupid. Naname did say that Ghetto Froggies was super popular with high school girls, so really it should come as no surprise that you had some too. Yep, nothing out of the ordinary here, not even slightly. I do think, like, we knew she was stalking us, so the fact that she was... Oh, it's because she was looking at the... She was looking at... Yeah, okay. She was looking at the, New Gen events, right? That was what the crazy part was. Yeah, we might die. That's okay. That's okay though. We might be the next victim. Let's see. Sometimes having such a big imagination really sucked. With how terrifying my delusions could be, it got so much worse.
西条くん
Yo was looking at me, tilting her head. I mean, she could just have been curious, bro. Not knowing how to reply, I forced a smile.
それ本当に流行ってるんだな。
流行ってるんだなって。
ゲロカエルン。
カエルン。Oh no. She I thought she would have a stronger cover than that, bro. What kind of reaction was that? Why had her expression turned so stiff? Did I had I said something wrong? Oh, okay. The nose was just like, I don't see anything at all. So maybe this is still, like, noticing it is still the problem. All I done was mention the Gero Kairun as a conversation starter, nothing else. So then why? Why had her smile? That gentle smile she'd had this entire time suddenly vanished. Why did she hang her head as if she didn't even want to look at me? I couldn't tell what kind of expression she was making anymore. Well, I can tell you, but it all gave me a terrible feeling I just couldn't shake. When I'd first laid eyes on those three Gero Froggies, it was weird to say no when the first part is just Gero, straight up, but hanging from her bag, I'd been hit by a massive sense of deja vu. Looking back, I guess my instincts were right. I had seen those three Gero Froggies. See, now I'm fucking out. I need to just hit it. Gero Kairun. How do you say him?
Gero Kairun.
Gero Kairun. Yeah. She was freaking out. Suspicion crept through my head until it took over my mind.
ゲロカエルン西条くんも知ってるんですね。
Obviously.
本当に大人気ですよね。私もあんまり可愛いとは思わなかったり。
Surely you would just move on and then bring up something else if you're really, unless she's just paranoid about trying to play it off and then she's fucking about.
友達からもらっちゃって気がついたら3つになってまして。
Oh, those must be the number of killings she's done. That's what I'm going to. That must be like a tally of murders, and she's taking the phones of the victims that she's killing, and she's taking the straps as like a trophy. The more you spun her tail, the more artificial it felt. She wasn't looking at me, she didn't even try to. Her smile was gone, even though up until that very moment, she'd been so gentle, so sweet. I started to feel dead inside. Please don't say any more, I begged inside my head.
見せてあげましょうか。
Oh no, you reached out for her bag trying to take the Gero Kairun straps off of it.
ちょっと待ってくださいね。
And we did say this place was so secluded that nobody else would come here or something, right? Her hands were trembling. She frantically tried to pull them off of her bag, but they just wouldn't budge.
変だな。どうして外れないんでしょう。絡まっちゃってるのかな。
That looks like a real human ID, like non-anime-fied. I mean, this is just Fizz, or it could be like Matt's. I can't read that, so I don't know. But you were pulling on the straps a bit too hard, causing the bag to fall off the bench. The bag was unzipped, so all of her notebooks and textbooks spilled onto the ground.
私ったら何をやってるんでしょう。
Just a few minutes ago, I might have even thought of you as ditziness as Mui. But at the present moment, I was just frozen in place, and that was because one of the fallen notebooks had flipped open. Tons of notes and newspaper snippets were scattered across the ground. It looked like it was some sort of scrapbook. All the notes, all the newspaper snippets, everything was focused on a certain string of cases, and its name was written there clear as day, Nugent. Unless she's just researching it, which would not be a satisfying conclusion to this. Satisfying conclusion would be Takumi getting killed, I think. My voice came out ragged. Yua, in a panic, started frantically gathering everything up and shoving it back into her bag. Once she did, she held the bag close to her chest and stood up, looked toward me and nodded, her expression intensely uncomfortable. A smile from before nowhere to be found.
それは
She's like, I wish you hadn't known. I wish you hadn't discovered it. We were going so well. Why wouldn't you talk to me? Please just say something, anything. Even still, she said nothing, which meant she must have realized that she'd been caught red-handed. She's terrible at playing this off. If you're doing this to the degree that it's in your bag, surely you would have a better cover story. At least be like, I'm investigating it. I'd wanted to trust her so badly, and I'd just been starting to think that maybe Yo was actually on my side, that she could have been an ally.
誰も信じちゃダメ。誰の言葉にも耳を傾けちゃダメ。
And the thing is, I mean, this case aside, let me get this off the screen because I think the longer I have it on, the longer YouTube will ban me. If like the worst thing that can happen for somebody who's scared of like being betrayed is that they get betrayed again, right? But also, it not in this case is maybe not true, but you kind of predispose yourself to like a perceived betrayal if you keep pushing people away. But also, this is not applicable to this scenario because you're a murderer. But or let's not hold that hope. 3D girls with the worst pieces of shit imaginable, every last one of them. Sort of a non sequitur, but you never liked me at all. She only wanted to get close because she had ulterior motives. Maybe she wanted to turn me into the police. Turn you into the police for what? Oh, she so she might not be the killer. I mean, obviously we saw the killer first of all. But she was investigating it and approached us because she thought that we were, because she didn't see the killer, but she might have seen us. Maybe she thought that we were the killer. Well, so we can still fix this. But if she doesn't love us, that means that Takumi is gonna be real fucked up about this anyway. God fucking damn it. I'd almost forgotten all about that incident. Yeah, here we go again. The police never questioned me, so I thought that maybe, just maybe, I could go on pretending it had nothing to do with me. All the water was to get away from those stupid murders, so why? What the hell was you really after here? I didn't even care anymore. I just wanted to run away as far as I could, so I went to turn around. Grab him. But Yua quickly grabbed my wrist.
逃げるの？
Nigiru no? She thinks he's the killer. So maybe we can fix this still. So unless, I think maybe now the overall plot line is that everyone's trying to find who done it type situation. Her tone was so cold it felt like my body might freeze over. It didn't even feel like she was the same person. It wasn't the you I thought I knew. And her grip, it was way tighter than I'd expected. It wasn't normal. My bones felt like they were being crushed. It was pulling me toward her, practically pinning my arm behind my back. You're under arrest or what?
逃げるの？
Feet? It wasn't quite a whisper, but it crushed any emotion I had left anyway. With a shiver, I slowly turned around. Oh shit, her eyes are serious now. She was staring at me. There was no longer any color left in those eyes of
逃が
hers.
さないよ。騙してたことは謝るけど、お互い様だし、あなただって隠してたこと。
I think in comparison, very few. I'm hiding things? Somehow, she knew that I had witnessed that staking murder. She knew that I had seen the perpetrator. Yeah, because she went in your room and saw the stake, bro. You left it in your room. You chucked it at the door, you idiot. That confirmed that even if she saw you there in the first instance, that was most likely why she tried to get close to me. I knew she was good, too good. She'd had me wrapped around her little finger. Everything she told me was a lie. Her taking an interest in me from just one glance. Her liking blood chewer, her arranging to go with me to pick up that Sarah post-awakening version figured of the store when it was on sale. All that nice little comments that she'd listened to what I had to say. Her wanting to get to know me better. It reminds me of the John Kiriakou, that like former spy / government agent. For some reason. Her being worried about me when I didn't come to school. Her saying that she respected everything had been a lie. I don't think so, to be honest, but I was overwrought with grief. I tightly clenched my fists. Fuck. God damn it. Why had I believed a single fucking thing she'd said?
本当はもっと時間をかけて調べたかったんだけど、バレちゃったからしょうがないよね。あなたに聞いてもらいたい話があるの。聞いてくれるよね。聞かないなんて言わないよね。あなたは聞くべきよ。聞いて。聞くでしょ。
Is he going crazy or is she going crazy? Am I going crazy? What the
聞
fuck?
かないなら。
Oh shit. She's crazy. What'll happen if I don't listen? You all felt like a completely different person. Jen, like every atmosphere from before was gone. She felt completely unapproachable now. The atmosphere felt bizarre, kimyo, like one molded from utter obsession. Her tone was as composed as could be, though perhaps cold ice was a better description. Her usual femininity had disappeared without a trace. You can be feminine and composed, though. No, I didn't want to listen. I tried to cover my ears, but I couldn't. Yo was holding onto one of my arms. Bro literally tried to cover his ears. Her grip was weaker than a second ago, but she still didn't let go. I couldn't move my hand. And while we're in that deadlock mention I really want to play right now. But I don't think I have time. I do have time, but I don't think I have time. She took a dark gray shiny object from her bag and held it out to me. The stake, right? Yeah. I was petrified. My heart skipped a beat. Any composure that I had left was gone. The hand that was going to cover my bro literally tried to do it. That's so funny. Hold on, Yu's voice, now sounding almost regretful, reached
こ
my
の十
ears.
字架に見覚えあるよね。
Yeah. It was a stake, obviously. At the very least, I'd only come across them once. Show us again, yeah. That night, scattered across the alleyway. Yes, this girl, the demon girl. As a corpse was being nailed onto the wall.
やっぱり知ってるのね。
Yappari.
知ってるんでしょ。知ってるに決まってる。知らないなんて言わせない。知ってなくちゃおかしい。知ってるよね。知ってるよね。
Okay, she's like hounding him. That's what it is. Whenever a visual novel does the space text, I'm just primed to be terrified. But every single visual novel that does that is intended to scare you, and it works every single time. Bro shaking his head. A disgusting cold sweat broke out on my brow. All I could do was wipe it away.
これあなたの部屋にあったのよ。あなたの部屋、ベッドの下、床に落ちてた。
That's why she sat on the floor, bro.
落ちてたの。落としたよね。それとも捨てた？とにかく落ちてた。落ちてたの。
Where the hell was this girl? When the fuck did she search my room? Was it the day with What do you mean, when did she search your room, buddy? Yes. Well, I'm glad that he's reminiscing in that sense. When my leg got injured and she'd come all the way to my room with me, when she see my Sarah figures on her face letterboard cute like a fucking Christmas tree.
この杭、外国製のすごく珍しい杭なのよ。それと、ニュージェネ第3の事件で使われた杭と同じ。同じなの。同じよね。同じなのは間違いない。
I like this bit. It's a great bit.
同じよ。遺体を壁に貼り付けにした杭と。同じ。
I was convinced. This woman thought that I was the culprit behind New Gen. She thought I was some kind of insane cutthroat murderer. Did she think she was a detective or something? What, did she call herself Kusunagi Yua? Ace High School Detective or some shit? Is this a Ace Attorney or a Danganronpa? Danganronpa came out after this, right? Technically speaking. Like the original Chaos head. So. Fucking kill yourself, actually. So true? Though she might have worked in anime and video games, but this is real life, and little did she know her reasoning had a fatal flaw. I knew who the real killer was. That's not gonna work, buddy. It might though. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I'd seen that demon myself. Sure, I didn't know her name, but she'd been wearing the Sweet Maid uniform, which meant that she was someone I could know.
だから
She loosened her grip on my wrist even more, then finally let go, with a small sigh also.
それ以上でもそれ以下でもないです。ただ、あなたが知って
Okay,
る
so
か
she's
どう
like
か
a
を確かめたかった
she's a smooth operator and a cold mover.
本当はまだ言うつもりじゃなかったですし。それじゃあもう一つ確認させてください。あなたには予知能力がありますか？
Kind of, but like, I don't think he thinks of it that way or knows. It's less precognitive and more that it like he creates the event and then sort of ends up there.
Huh?
I mean, but being confronted with this, has he been investigated for that? Is this been like going on that he doesn't even know? Could never just stand there with my mouth open. Precognitive powers? What the fuck? What did that have to do with the incidents? I tilted my head to the side, utterly perplexed. As I did, Yua's hand retreated into her bag once more before taking a picture printed in
予知
full
能力
color.
があるって思わなきゃ納得できないような画像で
I'm curious at this point. What could prove it? The picture was that grotesque one Shogun had sent me. Why did Yua have it? So does Shogun have the powers? I mean, we sort of assume Shogun was the one who did it, and his conclusion was that she sent it to him, and then he went there to see it to create like this scene, right?
これ
あなたはどうしてニュージェネ第3の事件の再現画像を持っているんですか？しかもこの画像が流出したのは
It was sent to me. We have this is all so explainable that it's making me like if they strain this out into any longer than it is, I'm gonna be pissed because this is explainable and it's actually more interesting when explained than it would be if this didn't happen. So I'm
あ
just
なたの使った PC にキャッシュが残ってました。
違う
if she knows that it was in the cache, then this should be even easier to prove. I'd gotten the image earlier that day when I chatted with Shogun. I hadn't made it myself. I downloaded it, so it must have still been in my history. I'll just show you with that. Still though, how had you even gotten this image in the first place? She'd said it had been in my computer's cache, but how would she have known that? How did she save it? When you had come into my room, she definitely hadn't had the time to snoop around my PC. Was it? I think it must have been while he was doing his delusion, right? Maybe this doesn't happen if I don't do a delusion and imagine her in a swimsuit.
まさか君が将軍か
Was she trying to frame me? It was all decided by you. She was the Nubian killer, and now she was going to use me as a scapegoat in order to throw off the police, wasn't she? Not a very sound choice.
助けて
It was all too much. Why did it have to be me of all people? Was it because I was a freak? Was it because I had no friends? He has one friend. You didn't say a word, she just shook her head
その画像
lightly.
はアットカフェルーム37の PC から拾ったんです。あなたの PC もできれば調べたかったんですけど
Oh, okay.
その機会はさすがにありませんでした。
I'll take you there now, man. Let's sort this shit out. Room 37. That was the one I always used. This bitch really did her research. Oh, okay. Yua looked at me with a slightly apologetic look. The OG Yua. I guess they both her, to be fair. I don't think she was putting it all on. I almost felt like she turned back to the Yua I knew, if only for a moment. And while all that happened, she started fishing around in her bag once more, but this time she took out a page with text on it and held it out to me. I had a bad feeling about this. Alarm bells were going off in my head telling me not to look. But there was no way I could ignore it, because if I did, then I'd surely end up being
それ
framed.
があなたのすべてです。
What the hell was that supposed to mean? Did she mean she had all my personal information too? Was Yua some sort of hacker? I mean, tech knowledge is, you can manage all this stuff without being a hacker, but maybe it makes you one just to know it nowadays. Or my heart was pounding out of my chest, but to my surprise, the page didn't have my personal information. It was just some chat log. Neidhart and Shogun. Yeah, but surely this proves that. Does she think we're Shogun?
そのログ変ですよね。
What was so strange about it? Looks like a perfectly normal chat log to me. I definitely remembered having this conversation with Shogun. Is there something strange about it? Is it the time? 28:29. So did he get these messages before they were sent? Is that why she thinks that he has precognition? Which he might, because he got these before it happened. I think it must be a time thing.
ナイトハルトと将
Yeah,
軍の
exactly.
発言時間が全然噛み合ってないんです。
But Shogun replied. So like, what's the deal here? Or is Shogun just not from Japan, bro? There's no time zone that goes that far forward from Japan, so that's not true.
そこにあるナイトハルトは西条区。発言時間は9月28日の午前
But he
3時。
doesn't know what's happening, so he shouldn't be like in a position to hide anything here, right?
そして翌日、あなたはアットカフェに行ってます。西条くんがアットカフェに行くのは学校帰りと決まってる。そして学校に行くのは週に 2.5 回。あなたのクラスメートから聞いたんですけど、先週あなたが学校に来た日は月曜日、水曜日、木曜日。先週の月曜日は9月29日。将軍の発言時間と同じ日です。
Did he send it to himself? Is that what she's trying to say? That it was like he is both Shogun and Naihan?
No.
What was she talking about? What is she trying to say here?
ルーム37の PC のチャットログを調べさせてもらいました。そこから分かったことは。
For just a moment, you were hesitated. Then she stared straight at me before breaking the cold, unfeeling
あ
truth
なた
to
一
me.
人の自作自演。
Yeah, but okay. But isn't that not true? Isn't that patent? I mean, we saw it from his perspective, but then again, we could be lied to as well here. Ah, that's a good wrinkle. Don't look at me.
将軍は
Don't look at me.
あなた自身。
Was that all the delusion?
何も見たくない。
Oh, okay. Because they usually use that to turn off the delusion, right?
何も聞きたくない。時間は一定じゃない。記憶には矛盾がある。視界にはエラーがある。地球は回ってない。これはきっとゲームなんだ。
That part's true. I stuffed my mouth with some fish sausage. Sorry, fish sausage? What the fuck is it? As I turned on my
僕
PC.
は僕じゃない。
What the fuck? So this is him? Groucho Soft Mindor's Aura's mentioned. Perfect. Before long, my monitor shone brightly with my Seiratton wallpaper.
僕がいるべき世界は
I went straight to ESO and opened it up without an ounce of
ここじゃない
hesitation.
んだ。
An ounce. Okay, but are we gonna get a... What happened? That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, click me. Quick saved, huh? Hmm. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get very far in this chapter, and I feel like playing some Deadlock anyway, which is not a slight on this game. It's just time is limited, and Deadlock is fun. Thoughts on this first chapter? Now that this chapter is ended, to give like a quick summary. I think it's a great, honestly, a great first chapter. We basically, I think we're seeing everybody that's a lot of people that are gonna be relevant and options and stuff like that. I like the tone, a lot of good characterization for Takumi, you know, and the mystery is like in full swing. He says, "I'm not me," and you are sort of revealing that. I mean, we were there in both instances, and also we know that his alt isn't Shogun, so I don't know if that's true or not. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked, but overall, I don't know. I'm quite liking it. I'm quite interested to see how everything sort of shakes up. Whether or not this, because initially I was sort of wondering maybe this is sort of, but that wouldn't. If this was not a science adventures story, then it would be about fixing Takumi. But because it's a science adventure story, while that may happen tangentially, it's actually like that. In a sense, that may be the real story, but it's also the like. A parallel line to the like fantasy / sci-fi / whatever you want to call is going on here. Obviously, like delusions equals reality is some premise here, but I'm wondering, and also I'm very curious now. Maybe I'll wait until the very end, or maybe I'll go back. I probably will wait till the very end to go back and do like see the alternate delusions and see what everything is like going to be if I went to no or a neutral option. But anyway, after maybe after 2 or 3 playthroughs, I'll usually use a guide, like a spoiler-free guide, which I know there exists one on the Patches website anyway, so I might just use that after 1 or 2, depends on, because it says spoiler-free, so it might be fine. But we'll see what ending we get first anyway. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see this live, though. That's one thing I do want to mention. And yeah, that's all I got for you. See ya.